Okay, in this tutorial we're going to make a little platform game like this. We're going to add a lot more to it, but just kind of give you the idea, okay? So open Game Maker and create these sprites. Sprite block H, sprite block Y or V, sprite right and sprite left. Remember, you right click, create sprite, and then you can name it here or name it after you load it. And then remember to go to the folder where you got the tutorial from. Remember, it's different. Here are the ones that you'll need. There's the block V and all that. So create a sprite for each one of those, okay? And then after you do that, then create an object for each one of those, all right? Just going to delete that. So you've created a sprite for those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then create an object 1, 2, 3, 4 for those characters, okay? And then once you've created all those, then we're ready to go on. By now you should know how to create sprites and objects. I'll tell you if you need to have something specific about each one. Go ahead and create those. Okay, so now on the two sprites, make sure you take off precise collision checking for the left and the right sprite. Okay, so take those off for those two. This prevents the sprite from getting stuck halfway down the edge of the platform. And secondly, when the sprite is changed from left facing to right facing, they should use the same collision mark. Otherwise, the character might get stuck. It's even more important when using animated sprites. For this reason, you'll better make sure that the bounding box and the sprite are the same. You can always use manual bounding boxes for this. So when adding the sprites, the setting should be something that looks like this. So you would open the modified mask, and this would be your bounding box. So you can go ahead and change it for that sprite. And the other sprite. So these, you can see, have precise checking unchecked also. And that one. And that one. Okay, so now let's take a look at our objects. We're going to go through all of the different commands in just a second. So our object block is solid. So make sure that's checked, and all of our blocks are going to be solid, okay? And our character, object character, just happens to be the right now is visible but not solid. We'll go through the rest of the steps for the character in just a minute, okay? So now we have all of our sprites and our character. Okay, now you'll need to add two backgrounds, one called background sky. It's in the same folder. And then you'll need to have another one, back tiles, which is also in the same folder. And you can copy these parameters for your background, okay? So now we've added backgrounds, objects, and sprites. And then you need to create one room, 16 by 16. Alright? And now we're ready to add some stuff, movement to our game. So basically, by using this tile background, we've actually drawn this background, but even though it's a really nice background, we're going to have to actually place some objects and stuff over it to make it work, which is why we have these other objects in there. So you can go and draw a nice background to use and then just dress it up when you do your actions, okay? And you can do that by when you place your objects over them, just like on here, on the background, you just make them invisible. And so when the person jumps on it, they'll see the nice graphics that you have up here. and then these will become invisible, but they'll be able to have your character jump and so forth. So we're going to also do that. I just wanted you to be aware of that method of creating a platform game. Okay, to start our movement, let's open our object character who's visible, depth of 0, and let's start with a step event. So add event and choose step. Okay, and then the first thing we want to add on our step event is the question. So the question we want to ask is to check whether the sprite is in the air. So type in check whether in the air. Okay? Alright, and then do OK. So then we want to add if position is collision free. So we'll bring that one in, and that's at 0, 1, and only solid and relative, and apply to self. So do OK for that one. And then we want to set the gravity so our object will fall down. So here's your gravity. So pull that one over, and we want the gravity to be 270 and 0.5. The direction is 270 and the gravity is 0.5. So we do OK on that one, and then we want to choose an else. Here we go under control. So pull that one over, and then we're going to set the gravity again. There we go. And this gravity, we want it to be 270 in the direction and 0 on the gravity. Okay, so see how we're making a little step event for the character? Then we want to go back for the question again. Here we go. And this time we're going to ask, limit the vertical speed. Okay. And then we want to add a variable event. And we want our variable event to be v-speed on the variable. Value for 12 and larger than. And for self. Okay, and then just one more on our step event. And that's this variable. And for this one, we want to set the v-speed again. And the value at 12. And okay, so now we have set our first step event for our character. So now we want to add a collision with our character when they jump on the blocks. So we'll add event, and it'll be a collision, and it'll be a collision with the first block. All right. So now with a block, we want to bring the move in direction over, and we want that to be the direction, and the maximum is 12 for us, and solid objects. And then we want to set a vertical speed when we collide with the blocks. So bring that over, and that speed is going to be 0. So when they collide with the blocks, they will not be moving. Okay? So just a couple more things for our characters, and that's how we want to make our character move with our left, our up, and our right buttons. So we'll do that in the second part of this. All right? So go ahead and save your work, and I'll get back to you with the second part.